Welcome to New York's number 2 sports show. The Yankees keep rolling. They sweep the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota. And the Yankees record improves to 30-15. This was basically domination, just amazing pitching by the Yankees in this series. They allowed one run. And it was actually the first batter for the Twins that got that run. It was a Ryan Jeffers leadoff homer off of Carlos Rodón. From there, Yankees completely shut it down. Carlos Rodón was really good in the first game. Marcus Stroman, who had been struggling lately, excellent in the second game. And then to top it off, Clarke Schmidt in game 3 goes 8 shutout innings. And, we'll talk more about Schmidt. He's just been a revelation and is really coming into his own. And the offensive star was Aaron Judge, where the last 2 games of the series, he combined for 5 doubles and a homer with at least a walk or 2 thrown in there as well. Like, his numbers at this point, it's crazy how he already has like a higher OPS in the season than Juan Soto. And Soto has cooled off a little bit, but still, it goes to show, like, Judge, when he's going, like, he's virtually unstoppable. But look, the Yankees have always had the Minnesota Twins number. It's crazy. I mean, over 2 decades now where regular season and playoffs, doesn't matter how well the Twins are playing, the Yankees just beat them routinely. And, as I look at it on the whole this season, and this is not any bold statement. I mean, one could have derived at this conclusion before the season started. But as we're more than a month and a half into this 2024 baseball season, the top 5 teams in the league, to me, are pretty easy to tell. In no order. I'm not going to order them, but the Yankees, Orioles, Braves, Phillies, and Dodgers, to me, are the top 5 teams in the league. And yeah, maybe there's a little bit of disrespect to the Central teams because there's some solid Central teams in the American League and the National League, but I just, the Yankees having, played some of them, and I'm just not overly impressed by them, I guess, either from a Yankee standpoint or just at large. So that's where, like, the Orioles, that's that main competition, not just in the division, but the American League. And so now the Yankees are percentage points ahead of the Orioles. It's kind of crazy. As we speak, the Yankees have played, and ending today, that'll be the case as well, have played 4 more games than the Orioles, which is just kind of crazy. The Yankees are 30-15, and Baltimore is 27-14. So 3 more wins to the Yankees. The Orioles have 1 less loss. So you put that all together, and it's basically neck and neck right now. And yeah, it'd be great for the Yankees to somehow, be able to beat the Orioles. They're a really good team, but it's just so evident. And it's a long season. You're, a little more than a quarter of the way through. A lot of baseball to go. So much. But it's looking like it's going to be a neck-and-neck race for that American League East between the Yankees and the Orioles. And therefore, also likely to me, who, it's for the American League as well. So, yeah, Yankees, it's been good. It's been consistent. It's fairly clean baseball. And let's jump into this. And really, there's not going to be a whole lot to discuss. I mean, these are kind of, doing these episodes. It's enjoyable. There isn't like a whole lot of, it's pretty low event, but like for a Yankee fan, like these games were just no stress at all. It was pretty much in the bag. I guess game 1 was really the only one where you had to question it just a little bit, and even that not so much. But as far as the lineups were concerned, it's the same like gist basically as we've seen. So where obviously we know Wells and Trevino kind of split it off, catcher wise, and their production's been really solid. And then at third base, it's a little bit of Oswaldo and then a little bit of John Birdie, and then you get that, and then what they've done is typically the last game of the series or within a series, Giancarlo Stanton will get the day off. Therefore, they'll move Judge to the DH spot, and then Trent Grisham will play center field. So the formula has been pretty much intact, what feels like all season long. But for game 1, Carlos Rodón versus Chris Paddack. And for me, this was a matchup where when we previewed last episode, the series, this was the one that on paper, I thought favored the Yankees the most. and Paddock got hit pretty hard. 5 innings, 12 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a homer for Paddock. For Rodón, he gives it that leadoff homer to Jeffers. His final line ends up being really, really solid. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Like, you'll take that every time. And so now he's 4-2 with a 3.31 ERA. And yeah, like the numbers aren't like eye-popping, but just watching him, I like what I'm seeing. 49 strikeouts in 49 innings. We know he's capable of more than that, but hey, if the ERA is going to be in that 3.31 range, you'll take that. And, so it's been steps in the right direction for sure for Rodón. So, like I said, he gives up that leadoff homer to Jeffers. Jeffers had a really good season for the Twins. His 10th homer of the year. He's been like one of the best hitters in baseball. So now we go to the second, though. And so the Yankees had that quick response. It's 3 straight singles by Rizzo, Torres, and Wells. And then a sac fly for Oswaldo Cabrera. So that's the thing for Oswaldo. I keep on saying, like, he's just producing RBIs. That's his 20th RBI in the year. Not bad for a number 9 hitter to have 20 ribbies. So that makes it 1-1. And then Anthony Volpe. And so I want to do a good job of, I guess I'll just say it straight out because I know where it happens a bit in game 2. But game 1, like it happens as well, where Willie Castro's defense in center field, absolutely awful for the Twins. Really, really bad. I mean, whether it be, I don't know if at any point he was, let's see, was there any errors? There was. So I guess we'll get there. There was an error on Castro that was given in game 1, but then there was a mental error that happened in game 2 and just plays that he wasn't able to track in center field. Really, really, like noticeably awful for Castro. But anyway, Volpe gets that RBI double. This was a good series for Volpe. He's been hitting the ball well lately. So he gets that RBI double to give the Yanks a 2-1 lead. Then we go to the third. Giancarlo Stanton just absolutely rips a solo shot. His 9th homer of the year. He has, like under the radar, Stanton's been really good. The slugging like is there, but also like, hey, 243 batting average. I know that's not great, but he started off really, really poorly. So really like what I'm seeing from Stanton. You know that the strikeouts are going to be there. You know that, look, he's not really one to walk all that much. So it all comes with it. But hey, if he's going to do this, like you can live with that. And so Stanton, just a legitimate Stanton home run, just in a blink of an eye, it's gone. And the Yankees take a 3-1 lead. We go to the fourth, and that is where it's a 2-out rally. A walk by Soto, an infield single by Judge, and then a 2-run double by Alex Verdugo. That's the thing, just tacking on some important runs as well when they need to. And so Verdugo gets that 2-run double to make it 5-1. And that might have been a play where Castro could have done a better – I can't quite remember where maybe a better center fielder is able to track that. But anyway, Yankees take a 5-1 lead at that point. Rodón goes 6 strong. Like I said, just the pitch count was somewhat up. But, in this day and age, 6 innings, I bet 100 pitches, that's fine. Not going to have a big issue with that. So, 7th inning, they actually started Rodón in the 7th. He gives up leadoff single to Carlos Santana. And then Ian Hamilton had one of his better outings. And so he started to look a little bit better. Hamilton was able to go 2 innings, allowing just 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. So that's more like it for Hamilton. And if he can get going, that'd be really big for the pen. And then in the 9th inning, somewhat of a surprise, although it ends up working out with the way the series was. Clay Holmes comes in a 4-run game. And the Yankees have typically, they do treat 4-run games as kind of like a safe situation, even though we know that a 3-run game to start the 9th is a safe spot. But Holmes goes 1-2-3, throws strikes. And so Clay Holmes is still yet to allow an earned run this season. Pretty remarkable. So Yankees win game 1, 5-1. And look, it's going to be a similar script. Just giving you a warning. It's pretty much the same thing each game. So game 2, except the big difference, the Yankees don't allow runs in games 2 and 3. But Marcus Stroman on the mound for the Yankees, and for Stroman, he has not been as good lately, but this was a good outing. And so Stroman with the win improves to 3-2, and his ERA is 3.33. And that's kind of the Stroman special, because the other numbers, they don't look so good. 42 strikeouts and 48 2/3 innings is not great. A 1.42 WHIP, but that is the sample size is large enough in his career where he is able to minimize damage. But here in this game, there wasn't even really all that much traffic on the bases. Only allows 2 hits, 3 walks. Don't love that. But again, for him, it's kind of by design. It's not for wildness. It's just he tries to be fine. He tries to hit the corners. He wants the opposition to be aggressive. So 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, and only 2 strikeouts. But hey, it led to a situation where he goes 6 innings. He was able to. The pitch count was on the lower side, 91 pitches, and he does what he does. But this was really the Aaron Judge game that he went absolutely nuts. He goes 4 for 4 with 3 doubles and a homer. And the homer went 467 feet in the first inning off of Pablo Lopez, who was no slouch. Lopez got hit pretty hard by the Yanks. He goes 6 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 3 runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So the Yankees, that was a good job. Lopez is definitely one of the better pitchers in the game. And Judge hits his 11th homer of the year. It's just crazy what he has done. And so now Judge, after the series, sits at a 262 batting average, which is much more like it, a 948 OPS, a 393 on base percentage. It's crazy how it was so bad. And it just took a huge, huge hot streak to get the numbers more back in line. And there's even still room to grow as well. So for Judge, he starts it off with that tank job to give the Yanks a 1-0 lead. And then they would keep it going. Second inning, they add on a run. You get 3 straight singles again. This is with 1 out, but kind of similar to the first game. It's Torres, and Gleyber's kind of breaking out of it a little bit. I like how his swing looks lately. Obviously, the numbers are bad on the year, but it's Torres, Trevino, and Cabrera with singles, and then Anthony Volpe gets a sac fly to give the Yankees a 2-0 lead. And what you'll notice is that Juan Soto is not really involved in much of the offense this series, and yet no problem. And that's a great, great sign for the Yankees. So third inning, leadoff double for Judge, single for Verdugo, and then an RBI single for Stanton to give the Yanks a 3-0 lead. And then from there, a lot of zeros on the board. Marcus Stroman just, was in a groove, pitching well. What I should have mentioned on the sac fly, I'll go back to that. The sac fly by Volpe, that was where Willie Castro forgot how many outs there were. Now, to be fair, and he messed up, even if he's alert and aware, I still believe Gleyber Torres would have scored. I don't think that it necessarily was the difference between a run and not a run, but it's just a bad look. And among really other just poor play by Castro in center. So that would make it 3-0. Let's jump ahead to the 7th inning. And the Yankees had another run. Cody Funderburk comes on. And so Soto is involved here. He gets a double, lefty versus lefty. And then Aaron Judge gets an RBI double to make it 4-0. And this is where Castro kind of came in and the ball goes over his head. So Judge, just an extra base hit machine in this series and lately. So the Yankees take a 4-0 lead there. Then we go to the 7th inning. And so what Hamilton did in game 1, Luke Weaver was able to do in game 2. He goes 2 scoreless innings. And so for Luke Weaver, 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. His excellence continues, and just what a find he's been. And it's the Matt Blake and company. Mike Harkey deserves credit as well. It's just incredible what they do to kind of find guys that they can tap into and turn them into studs, honestly. The Yankees have a 4-0 lead, and then Caleb Ferguson comes on. And remember, he had a bad outing versus the Rays last time out, but he's able to come into the 9th inning, pitches a 1-2-3 inning, gives the Yanks a 4-0 win. So at that point, they clinched the series. And so now, I believe it sits at 11-2-1 over 14 series. Just really impressive work by the Yanks. But sometimes what we haven't seen is finishing off the sweep. But they do that. And Clarke Schmidt is the story of this game. He was just brilliant, and he has been so good. I mean, to me, and it's not really fair to kind of rank these 5 starters, but really the 2 best and most consistent have been Luis Gil and Clarke Schmidt. And I believe the stat was the Yankees are 8-1 in Clarke Schmidt starts. The only loss was that one to Baltimore where he pitched really well. He allowed that one mistake to Gunnar Henderson in the first inning. Yankees just couldn't score. But yeah, Schmidt in this game, 8 shutout innings, 3 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Like, the walk to strikeout ratio has been great. So now he's 5-1 in the year with a 2.49 ERA, 55 strikeouts and 50 2/3 innings. Just he's coming into his own. I mean, look, this was a first-round pick in 2017. And it took him some time. And there were injury issues. And, he was kind of unfairly up and down. Like, I remember, you think about a few years ago where Schmidt, you knew he had the stuff, and at that time he was more in the bullpen. His role was different, but you knew that he belonged in the majors, but it just wasn't there. And really, last year was the beginning of what he could be. And even that, even last year, he's taken a step up this year. Because last year, he would keep you in games, but he wasn't giving you that distance. Now he's giving you that, and his confidence just continues to skyrocket. So yeah, Schmidt was just fantastic in this game. But the Yankees break it open early. It's a leadoff homer for Anthony Volpe. So Volpe gets his 6th homer of the season. Like what I'm seeing from him. So now he's a really nice batting average of 273, OPS 780, which is fine. I guess Volpe, what that tells me is he's probably not walking a whole lot lately, but he's been looking good. So Volpe gets that leadoff homer, gives the Yankees an early 1-0 lead. And then Gleyber Torres gets a RBI double in the first. Now, this was a play that Alex Kirilloff should have made. He drops it. They rule it a double, which is, I'm not surprised by that. He hit it well, but that's, again, poor defense by the Twins there. Makes it 2-0. Then you get an RBI ground up by Anthony Rizzo to make it 3-0. So it's just little things like that. And what's been good about the Yankees is they don't strike out a whole lot. They are, I think, about bottom 5 or so in baseball in terms of striking out, which is great. And so that's led to a lot of double plays. But still, just making contact. It feels like the Yankees have gotten a good amount of sac flies and just RBIs that, even though they hit a lot of home runs, the fundamentals and just the attitude, everything, it feels a little bit different this season. So the Yankees take a 3-0 lead there. Schmidt, there's not a whole lot more to say. He's just rolling. And then in the 6th inning, the Yankees score another run. So Joe Ryan, which I should have mentioned, Joe Ryan, he didn't do all that well either. He went 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And, his numbers were pretty good heading into this game. But Gleyber Torres gets a double off of him. They take him out. Caleb Thielbar comes on the lefty. And with 2 out, it's an RBI single for Austin Wells. And I continue to say it, Austin Wells, it sucks. His overall numbers are really not good. But I'm telling you, they're going to get better just because he really looks good up there. It's just the at-bats feel professional, even though he's, young within, he was kind of a late bloomer in some ways, but his experience in the MLB isn't that large. He just came up late last season, but he's looking comfortable. So again, that catcher position, you're getting offensive production, gives Yankees a 4-0 lead. And then the 7th, off of Cole Sands, you get a 1-out walk to Soto, double by Judge again, and then a sac fly by Alex Verdugo. So kind of like what I was talking about, another sac fly. Makes it a 5-0 game. Clarke goes 8 innings. And he threw 103 pitches. I mean, I'm glad that Boone let him go because I thought after 7 it'd be done. And he started the 8th. And it was a quick 8th. And he just got through it. And then Victor Gonzalez came in the 9th. And Victor Gonzalez, he hadn't pitched in over a week, I think. But he goes 1, 2, 3. And the Yankees win the series. They sweep the Twins. And that's good. I mean, look, the Twins, they were 24-16 coming in. And we're looking pretty legitimate. But, the Yankees kind of took them down a notch. And so now they'll head home to start a 7-game homestand. Now, the first 3 will be against the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox got off to a really, really slow start. But they are really bad. I mean, their record's 14-30, which is the 2nd worst in Major League Baseball. The only one's worse is the Marlins. So, look, the Yankees and the White Sox are 4-16 on the road. So this is serious for the Yankees. You're looking for really, at least 2 of 3 or a sweep. It would be bad to lose this series. I see no reason why they should. And so let's quickly preview this 3-game set. So it'll be pitching matchups. Mike Clevinger for the White Sox against Nestor Cortez. I believe Clevinger had been out for a while. I think he's only had 1 start on the season. Clevinger who's had kind of an injured past, but when he's on, he's pretty effective. But Nestor Cortez, the good thing here is Nestor has been way better at home, so I like that. And then game 2 will be between Brad Keller and Luis Heel. So, Keller is someone who is off to a decent start, but he's only started one game, and so I'm let me see his game logs. I guess he's kind of like a long man. I'm not really sure what the deal is there, but the longest he's gone is 4 2/3 innings. So I'm not sure if he's fully stretched out. I guess we'll see. And then game 3 on Sunday will be between Chris Flexen and Carlos Rodón. So this is Carlos Rodón against his former team. I'm to assume that he's pitched against the White Sox since he left and went to San Francisco. I don't know for sure because he was hurt for a while last year, and I'm not recalling whether he. I guess we'll find out going into it. But the fact of the matter is that he was on the White Sox for a while. It's against his former team, and Chris Flexen, who has had a bit of a rough go this season for the White Sox. So, you look at all that, it's definitely advantage Yankees for those 3 games. And then what the more interesting test might be is the 4 games after that as the Seattle Mariners come to town. And look, Seattle at this point, they're in first place in the AL West. We know that they have pretty good pitching. I think offense is a bit of an issue for them, but their pitching is always pretty damn good. So, that'll be more of a better test. You would think than this White Sox series, but hey, good times for the Yankees right now, 30-15, which is, they're not going to keep up that pace. That's winning 2 out of every 3 games. You wish for that, but that's just not really in the cards. But it's been impressive. And for them to sweep the Twins, I know the Yankees always do well against them, but you still can't take it for granted. And they're able to get it done. So a really impressive sweep. Great starting pitching. Aaron Judge just going out of control. And now they'll come home and they will start out their 7-game homestand with a 3-game set against the Chicago White Sox.